Good morning, pumpy pumps. We're seeing that green in the charts. Are we set up for a little bit of a pullback? Everything's starting to look super quadruple, double bullish. I'm feeling super excited. I know all of you are feeling very excited as well. We have the giveaway that's happening today, and we're randomly picking from those of you that retweet this live stream here on Twitter, and also hit that like button on the live stream that's here. We are live on YouTube and Twitter, but head over to my Twitter at Kelly Kellam if you're watching on YouTube. If you're watching here, of course, on Twitter, just right below it, hit that retweet button, show some love. Maybe today's going to be one of the days that's picked for the giveaway. Maybe it's going to be one of the days this week. You don't know, but we got a lot to get into today. We're seeing some incredible green bullishness on the charts, but there's still a little bit of caution just in the very near term. However, this quarter four is where it's at. Shout out to everybody that is here. Big love to every single one of you that's here on a daily basis. Shout out to all of you that have been around for quite some time, watching since January last year. We've been on live for about a year and a half. We already got basically almost 60,000 subscribers because we're sharing those meaningful content, tools, resources, and all of you building this empowering community. I love you guys. Guys and gals, we got some charts to cover. We got some signals and setups to look at. We got some trades to consider. And all in all, I'm feeling good. We're coming into the end of September. We got some incredible charts and data in all this. Big love to each and every single one of you. As we get this going, head over to at Kelly Kellam on Twitter. If you're on YouTube, retweet this live stream. If you're on Twitter right now, directly below, hit that retweet, show some love. We're about to get into it. Let's go. Let's get into this. Markets are green. Markets are pumping. We're seeing some absolutely incredible things in this market. Does this mean it's all systems go? Maybe. Well, let's get into it. Let's talk about it, because when we look at this crypto bubbles chart, we see, so much green on here. If we look at this is on the daily. If we look on the hour, of course, we're seeing a little bit of chop along the way. We want to see that. We want to build structure. We don't want just giant green candles. Although you think you might want that. When you have giant green candles, it creates what we call an imbalance in the market, an inefficiency, and price tends to come back and fill those. So we want to see on the hour green and then red and green and red. We want to basically stair step our way to the upside. But when we look at the daily, the AERO, shout out to all of you that have been holding AERO. We're over 22, almost 23%. We're seeing some, Ondo up 5%. We're seeing things across the market looking really good. Look at the week. Nearly everything is green. Look at the month. Nearly everything is green. We're seeing massive gains. SUI's up 106%. HEX is up 154%. CKB up 105%. This one I think everybody should be paying attention to. This is Nervos, which is one of those basically Bitcoin DeFi layers. But then we also see Tau up 76%. Doge starting to show those signs of life, which we really want to see if we're expecting the altcoin market to rip. Now, when we come over here, I do want to point out, this is a USDT.D. This is the dominance chart on stablecoins. Why does this matter when we're just trying to trade Bitcoin, Ethereum, or an altcoin? Because this is kind of giving you signal. If this starts dropping very quickly, this is showing essentially those stablecoins that have been sitting on the sideline. This will suggest that those are basically buying in, reallocating into crypto. That is how this drops. When this is going up, people are selling their crypto, still holding it in the crypto ecosystem, but selling it into stables. So we're starting to see some signs of life, a potential setup for absolute face-melting bullishness. If you can get behind that, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button, ding the bell. It really does. It's one of the easiest way to help support this channel, this community. And of course, if you are watching on YouTube or Twitter, make sure you head over to, let me pull it up real quick. Make sure you head over to I'm pulling it up right now. Make sure you head over to my at Kelly Kellam Twitter page, which is right here. And you see it says live. You can click on that, or you can come right down to this post that we just did and hit that retweet, hit that like button. I'll hit the like button too. Why not? And this is how you can also join our free traders group right there. I just posted it directly below. Make sure it is, if you're ever clicking on these links, make sure it is from me at Kelly Kellam. There's about 100 plus fake profiles out there. But we've been dropping some ridiculous, awesome calls there in the in that signals lab, which you get free access to if you just basically go through the metrics. I'll show you how to do that in a bit. But looking back at the USDT.D, we had this downtrend right here. This is when we got that pump. Basically, look at this. Let me move this up just a touch. This is back here in September 2023. This is when we had a bit of that pump. And this is basically, look at this, March 12th. Remember what I talked about? When you start seeing the dominance go up, this means people are basically removing some of the risk from the market, putting it in stables. March 12th. What was March 13th? That was the top of the market. And this is where the price action has been running sideways on Bitcoin. Actually, if we come over here and type in BTC, USD, or USDT, it doesn't really matter. But notice right here, you see this right here. This is the USDT.D, the dominance of the stable coins. The pink line here is Bitcoin. Notice how when this is coming down, look at the price action on Bitcoin. When this is pushing up, there's a perfect correlation with Bitcoin trending slightly to the downside while the dominance was trending slightly to the upside. Now, if we can get this break on the USDT trend line right here, this dominance, if this starts to break down, we're going to see some fireworks in the market. And that's what I'm here for. That's what you're here for. We're here to change our lives, to impact our friends, family, loved ones, and also just store our wealth into the future, expand it. So let's talk about how we can do that, because there's some great things, great signs and signals in the charts today. And again, by the way, if you are new here, if this is your first time, my name's Kellam here with BitLab Academy. I love you all. I appreciate you all. I'm here for community. I'm here to uplift. I'm here to give you those tools so that you know how to dominate in this market and not step into the same pitfalls and the issues and the overwhelmingly costly errors like I did early on. That's why I'm here. And a rising tide raises all ships. So let's do this together. Now, diving back over here, Bitcoin, let's go ahead, click on this, just refresh. We're at 2.33 trillion. Remember last week it was about 2.22 trillion. So about $100 billion has come into this market since last week. Now, if we come in here and we go 24-hour Shiba Inu. I don't trade Shiba Inu, but I can use it as a metric. Shiba, Floki, look at all these. Bonk, Pepe, all meme coins, and especially Shiba and Floki, which have been around for quite a while. This is kind of signaling some of that risk, some of that fervent, positive sentiment coming back into the market. So whether or not I trade this, I can say, okay, there's some retail excitement going on in the market right now, but we're also seeing a little bit of losses here. Now, is it the end of the world? Well, look, say down 6%. Does that mean it's over? Well, it just had a 33% up week. Near Protocol down 5%. It's had a 25% up week. So this is that stair step that we were talking about on the way up. I do want to say here, just for a moment, if I cough, I apologize. I'm still sick from you can hear it in my voice, still sick from the Singapore trip. I mean, you all do not know how I was almost 38 hours in travel to get home from Singapore and very little sleep while we were there. So I'm not feeling my tip top, but I'm here for you because I love you. I appreciate you. So with that, if you want to show some love back, the easiest way you can help support crypto content in general and this channel, hit that like button, hit that subscribe button. Make sure your notifications are turned on because we got a lot of things in the works. And if your notifications are turned on, it might very, very, very much so benefit you starting next week. So coming back over to what we're looking at here, let's dive into some of the things we want to talk about. We're seeing the signs of life that we want to see. Nearly 400 million into spot Bitcoin ETFs today. And this was, of course, yesterday. So $400 million. Now, why does that matter when there's a $1 trillion industry, multi-trillion-dollar industry with crypto, but Bitcoin itself doing incredible. But we see, for context, out of 500 ETFs launched in 2024, less than 25 have taken this amount in for the entire year. This is what we call bullish appetite for an asset. This is incredible. So if you can get behind that, if you understand what this means for where we're going, and we've only just begun, and this is what I'm talking about. This is the ETFs, the flow of appetite, buying or selling in these ETFs. What are we seeing here? We have the dip here, meaning outflows, people selling positions on the ETF. But look at this. We came back positive, and now look, this is that metric right here with this large sort of impulse up, and we've broken past all these previous highs. Now, what I do want to point out to, this is a bit of a symmetrical triangle with this descending level of resistance, rising level of support, and we're breaking out of this zone. I do think we are going to be in for some incredible fireworks. For those of you that have your bags packed. Jason Rohde, by the way, and I want to shout out everybody. I think it was 2 weeks ago. We did a giveaway. 3 people won. In the traveling and this and that, I have not sent out those giveaways. My plan is to send them out today, but because I get so many messages, please reach back out to me on Twitter. Just poke me there and send me your address, or just poke me there. I'll see your address because all of you have sent them. I just can't find them because there's just so many messages to go through. But I want to make sure you all taken care of. And we got another giveaway going on today. But this is bullish right here. Seeing this breakout, this is positive capital flow, buying into these Bitcoin spot ETFs. And we can see, again, 400 million yesterday alone, more than the top 25 have done in the entire year. This is other ETFs of all these other asset classes. So this is super bullish. I'm going to bookmark that so I can do some content on this later because that is important to look at. Now, also, this is very important. We talk about it. We get so locked into these 15-minute time frames, these 5-minute time frames, these, daily, weekly, all the different time frames. But when you look at the monthly, look at this monthly chart and look at this, boom. This is what's known as a bullish engulfing candle, meaning the candle itself fully, not the wicks, the candle body, that big square portion is larger than the bearish candle before it. This is what's known as a bullish engulfing. This is saying bears are trying, and especially with that wick, but then the bulls completely dominate this time frame. And then what do we see after that? That's what's important. Up and away. Okay, look at this. We had this sell-off here. This is the Chinese mining ban back in 2021. Then we got a large bullish monthly bullish engulfing candle on the monthly. And what we see, we saw a pretty significant gain from about 32,000 all the way up here to 69,000, almost 100% gain. What do we see right here? FTX collapse, boom. And then look, bullish engulfing, engulfed the 2 previous candles. And what do we see? Large bullish impulse all the way up from here, all the way up to nearly $74,000. We got 180 people in the room as it is. We're about to have a couple hundred more pile in here, as always happens. So big love to each and every one of you that is here early. I love you. I appreciate you. We've been waiting. Have we all not been waiting? We've been patient. This market's finally starting to show some signs of life. And now we're seeing on the monthly, wasn't September supposed to be a bearish month based on the metrics? This is why you have to be aware that no metric is perfect. And you have to look at the context of all this things circumstantially around and build that probability factor for where you think the market is going. And that's why we break this down on a daily basis. Now, looking where we're at right now, we have not closed this month. Know that. We currently have a setup for a bullish engulfing candle on the monthly. If we're able to close like this, and mind you, let me see if I can find it really quick. It's right here. We're supposed to have such a, September is one of the most bearish months on record. Well, look at this. September currently has been the best performing September ever for Bitcoin. So not every metric's going to be perfect. And this is why we have to weigh things on a daily basis. And, you have to allow things to figure out. Todd Peterson said, "You got the bird flu?" I hope not. I think I'm just overexhausted, getting a little bit of, whatever travel bug you get when you're on planes for 30 hours, it's whatnot. I'm fine. I'm just a little coffee. Now, September has been the best performing month on record. And now remember, it was supposed to be bearish, but now we're coming into what is known as, and we can see it right here. Look at all this green, 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 red, green, 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 red, green. October is one of the most bullish months on record, otherwise known as Uptober. So the question is, do you all think, where are you at with this? Do you think we're going to break to new all-time highs in October? Do you think we're going to end the month somewhat significantly higher to where we're at now? Do you think it's going to be somewhat tampered back by the uncertainty about what's going to happen in that big decision day, November 5th? Well, we have to take this one day at a time, and we understand Bitcoin is at the same spot as the previous 2 cycles and looks ready to pop off from my boy, Quentin Francois. using the chart here from the rational root and seeing, look, comparison from cycle bottom, measuring when the market cycle bottomed, and then overlaying the last two cycles on top of each other with this pink line, which is the current cycle. You can see this on the key right here. And we are literally smack dab exactly where we should be. So is anything different? We have all this new capital flow, these new spot ETFs and all these but also consider the fact that this market is so much larger than it was in previous cycles. We have an exponential factor each cycle with the new money that comes in, the expansion of the market cap each cycle that also requires for us to see anything like we've seen in previous cycles, you need exponential money flow that comes in as well. So while it feels like everything's different because we have these Bitcoin spot ETFs and we have banks layering in and institutions, it's also required if we're expecting anything like we saw last two cycles. And I think we can all agree that we've actually, I would argue, outpaced the level of bullishness and the appetite and the buying pressure that we're seeing from institutions, corporations, the talking points from Larry Fink and Van Eck and Fidelity and the this discussion points that are in basically every world government, on parliament floors and House of Representatives and Congress. We have the dominoes that have fallen it has been absolutely astoundingly incredible for setting up what is to come. So when we see where we're at right now and we realize, look at this, boom, this was September 22nd. Look at what has come next. In the last cycle, which is this orange, this is where we really started to have that massive uptick. And the cycle in yellow, it was actually a little bit slower burn, but there was a lot of just, the work done along the way. So are you ready? That's the question. Are you ready for this to really explode? By ready, I mean not wanting it. I mean, have you been diligently either stacking into your positions or have you been stacking into a savings account that you're ready to deploy when you feel like the market's ready to go? Because there's different strategies here, everybody. Everybody has a different way in which they're navigating this. Told you I was going to be coughing. But again, I do want to shout out. We're about to dive in. We have quite a few more charts to go to. We're going to be doing some TA as well. Again, I want to just shout out. Come over to, it is this post right here. Head over here, retweet this, share it. If you're watching on Twitter, just hit that little button, boom, right there, retweet. And if you're on YouTube, head over to my page. Make sure you're following me so you don't get caught into the wrong fake profile out there. But retweet that, hit the like button. You're helping support the channel and get the good vibes and the good signals out there to all your friends and family. But also, you are entered to win. We're going to randomly draw here at the end of the show to do a bit of a giveaway. So this is where we're at. Now, continuing on, let me go ahead and bookmark this too. I like that chart. Continuing on, we were talking about ETFs before, but let's talk about Bitcoin itself. Bitcoin in the exchanges, Bitcoin purchases, sells, money coming into this ecosystem, money being pulled out of the ecosystem. What do we see? We've been talking about this some time. This coming down, resetting back here, dipping into the red. You can barely see it there. You see that dipping barely into the red, negative money flow, just like we saw back here. This is 2016 into 2017. Look at this, dip into the red, dip into the red, dip into the red, dip into the red, dip right above the red. And finally, we had that sort of blow off top on the market. So, okay, we dipped into the red. Consider it a reset. And with the reset, what have we seen each time this has happened? Look at this. Boom, up, a little bit of a reset, up, a little bit of a reset, up, a little bit of a reset, up. So this is like that Disney movie Up. It's just a matter of, are you holding on to the balloons or not? This is what I'm talking about right now. So continuing on, and let's actually come over here. Short-term holder cost basis, boom. We've, I think, successfully broken it back above the short-term holder cost basis, which is wonderful. We need to have a little bit of continuation. We could still have a little bit of a washout to the downside. So you've got to be prepared and careful regarding that. Don't get so bullish that you get caught in a trap and really jack yourself out of a decent percentage basis of your portfolio, whether it's your trading portfolio or your long-term portfolio. we are about to absolutely rip to the upside. And that could be within the next week. That could be after November 5th. There's no way to truly know. All you can do is position yourself for gains. Theoretically, if you sold all of your crypto for, say, 5 million, where would you move these funds? Where would you move those funds to from the exchanges? Well, that's a great question. Shout out to my daddy-o, Brad Kellam there, says aloha. What I would do is I would, one, especially depending on what it is, if it's mostly alts, I'd move a good portion of it into Bitcoin. I would also, if I think we're at, let's say, a market cycle top, I would take a significant portion and put it in stable coins and allow it to sit there, or move a good portion of it and start, utilizing a Bitcoin IRA or something like that to stack into the future. But you have to remember, if you're in this market and all you ever do is see big numbers, and I've done this, I did this last 2 cycles because I've been in this 3 cycles now, where I pull up my phone and I look at my portfolio and I'm like, what? And I'm taking screenshots. I'm like, what? The next day or within 3 days, the market is always tanked. So you have to not allow yourself to let this just be a video game for you, meaning you see dollars go up and you're looking at them like points. If you never take anything out of this market to affect your life, to pay off debts, you shouldn't really be having a lot of debt if you're investing in these markets. But if you do, you're waiting for a big, profitable moment. Make sure you are changing your life with this money so it's not just theoretical and then the market crashes and you could say, man, at one point I had 5 million and then it crashes down and you only have 50,000 or 10,000. Because ththese markets, we saw this in 2021 into 2022 with the massive cascading failures that we saw from Celsius and BlockFi and Voyager. The list goes on and on. Terra Luna. Things can change like that. So make sure you're taking profits along the way and treat yourself. You got to treat yourself, So let's get back in here. We got some other things to talk about. We're going to get into some of this TA here in a moment. We talked about this. September is better than it historically has been. And then in addition to that, I talked about this yesterday. Where is this next pumpage going to come from? Well, it just turns out that Bitcoin runs on a basically nearly 4-year cycle, which is called the halving cycle. It's not 4 years. It's actually 210,000 blocks. Every block is roughly 10 minutes, which basically equates to about 3 years and 10 months on average for the halving. That also somehow perfectly lines up with the global liquidity cycle. And we're seeing that uptick in the global liquidity cycle right now, just as we're coming into that time period that we've talked about since April 19th, looking at that 160 to 170 day window. I'll pull it up. I'll show you this block right here. This is what I'm talking about. This block right here. You see how wide that is? That is a time block that I put on the chart showing that, hey, once we come into this is likely where I think we're going to break out. And what do we see? Look, we pumped into it. Now we're coming up, right into the zone. Doesn't mean we're going to break out from here. We very well could come back down, chop, have a little bit of a washout, and then release and have continuation to the upside. But we know it. Every one of us is here. We want to get that good release. I know it. You know it. We want to have this. We want to capture this before we see this massive movement where this basically just runs away from us all the way up into 100K and beyond. But you've got to be patient because we're right on the edge of absolutely life-changing behavior in this, the price action on this chart. But we are in that block. This is that block I talked about, 160 days. We've seen, look at this. I'll copy this. I'm going to copy this. I'll go to the 3-day mark. And now we're going to turn on let me turn on halvings. Bitcoin halving events, boom. Now let's go. Oh, look at that. I already have it on there. Look at this, 156, nearly 160 days post-halving. Price action chop sideways, had a bit of pump, came back down, then released to the upside. See, it's all about that release. You got to get that good release. In order to get that good release, you got to be prepared here in the market. And so what we're seeing here, look at this, 153. Actually, you could actually take this a bit further, about 160 days before this breaks past this previous range high, and we get what? Parabolic uptrend, boom. And then we get what? Look, right out of it, boom, parabolic uptrend. And then we get what? Look at where we're at right now. We're at that 160, 165 day mark. And what are we looking for next? We're looking for that pumpage to the maximus. That's what we're looking for. But if you're taking every trade, every time we get a $100 movement on 30, 40, 50x leverage with your entire trading portfolio or your entire actual long-term hold, you know how many people I know that have they say they have these long-term hold portfolios, but they're trading it? That's not how you make money in this market. You have a trading portfolio, you have your long-term hold portfolio. As you're making money in your trades, you separate 30% to your long-term hold portfolio. You take 20 or 30% out for your life to cover new tires or a trip for your husband or wife or girl, your daughters or sons, or to buy those new golf clubs. So you can affect your life, you can grow your trading portfolio, and you can grow your long-term hold portfolio. So regardless of what happens, you're stacking yourself into the future. That's what this is about. And then all this comes from, how are we going to get that pump? I talked about it yesterday. We just, in the last week, not over the last quarter, in the last week, we have seen 1.426. This is $1,426 billion injected into global liquidity in the last week. And we're starting to see some really incredible signs of life that include, where's it at? Boom, I don't know. Where's this right here? This is what we're looking at. China's stock market has gone parabolic this week after the government announced 140 billion stimulus and multiple rate cuts. Now, why would this be? What do markets do? What do market participants do? They utilize the knowledge that they have, forecasting what they think other people are going to do, and the fact that we have this massive money injection into global markets, especially what we're just seeing in China. A big part of this is China. They say, okay, there's a lot of money printing. These markets are about to go up. So everybody starts aping in, starts buying. And then you get this sort of flood of buying pressure that sends markets higher. Now, this has not yet hit the Bitcoin and altcoin and crypto markets, but it's starting to. That pressure, you're starting to see buoy the industry, starting to pull it to the upside. So this is what we're looking for, that explosion in Bitcoin, and then subsequently, Ethereum, and then the rest of the alts. So, I mean, if you're not bullish right now, you must be Helen Keller, because you don't got eyes, you don't got ears. All the data is suggesting to hold on to your britches. And then some people are still saying out there, no, we hit a market cycle top. Okay, well, let's look at this. GMI, Bitcoin cycle top finder. Well, look at how high this was here. Market cycle top. A lot of people would argue this 64 was a top, not the 69. Why would you ask? Well, there's a lot of data points that suggest that. And also we had a huge amount of inflation that came in through this period. So while this is a higher number on the US dollar value, if you adjust it for inflation, we actually did not break the high. But also there's so many different on-chain data charts, different technical metrics. But look at how high this was, market cycle top. Look at how high this was, market cycle top. Similar, all of them. Look at how low this is. What does this look more like? This looks more akin to what we saw on this sort of pre-halving pump. Now, does that mean it's different because this is, pre-halving or cross-halving? Well, this was pre-halving. We had that $73,800 top, and then we've had this sideways accumulation for 7 months. Now, the difference here, I have to say, between here and what we saw here in 2019 was we had a pretty big sell-off. It was about 72%, if I'm not mistaken, from this top all the way to the COVID crash. Now, if you didn't take account to the COVID crash, this was about 55% drawdown. We never really got that here. We got about 30% from the top to this sort of sideways consolidation that's angled to the downside. However, what we're seeing with this also is a very different underlying sentiment change because of the buying pressure of BlackRock, Fidelity, and the institutions that are buying in, and all of this other incredible bullish structural shift that we've seen this cycle, with the acceptance of Wall Street and the buying pressure that comes with it. And in addition to that, and the understanding of this also goes back to what we were talking about when I was talking about this right here. The speculative buying pressure when you think something's going to happen, or the fear of missing out. And so when we come back to this chart, where are we at? When we come back to this chart, Now that we have so much underlying bullishness from all these institutions, corporations, and growing discourse and discussion and integrations with world governments with Bitcoin, like remember, Russia just said September 1st that they are now going to be taking international settlement for trade with Bitcoin. We're also seeing discussions and movements with what's happening with China, softening their stance, also having the Hong Kong spot ETF launch there. That's their sort of way to not allow it, but they're allowing it, access to Bitcoin. So there's been sort of bullish buoying, bullish support of not really letting major drawdown here. But if we look at this metric, look at this, pushing up here, this looks very similar to this. I do think the next thing that we're going to see, if we come back over here to having progress and we consider sideways price action after having, sideways price action after having, sideways price action after having. Let's bore people to death. Let's get as many short-term holders as possible to capitulate, and then we're going to send this rocket ship to the moon. It's all about, are you strapped in right now or not? If you're still on the sidelines, I mean, more power to you. Why do I say that? Because if you're on the sidelines and you're waiting, basically storing your money in your mattress, then this is what you're looking at right here. How to stay poor. If you save in cash under the mattress, the government debasement would have stolen half of its value in 10 years. Do you understand that? If you think Bitcoin's stupid, or if you have a family member that thinks it's stupid, you need to present them with data. Unwind the cognitive dissonance of this thing because you're familiar with whether it's the US dollar, the Canadian dollar, the Chinese yuan, the Japanese yen. Doesn't matter what fiat currency system anywhere in the world. The US currency has the strongest record of what their inflationary or disinflationary characteristics are. So if the US dollar, if you're saving in the US dollar, you're losing half that value just in 10 years. That means, let's take this back. What does that really mean? That means the government has devalued the time that you are worth for when you're exchanging your efforts for money to work. Now, why would that be? Because this means that if I spent 1,000 hours working, 10, 12 years ago, and I saved that money, now that money is worth half as much, which means my efforts were worth half as much. AKA, you need to work twice as much. Most of us, we're on the edge of just doing the thing that we're doing, let alone I need to do twice as much. Eggs are cost twice as much. This is why Bitcoin and crypto is so impactful and important. And we all need to understand that. And this is what we're talking about right here. Now, before we go on, we're about to hop into some TA. We're about to talk about some charts. We're about to talk about some signals. I want to just encourage every single one of you, if you want, we're doing another giveaway today. Make sure you head over to my Twitter page, which is right here at KELOY. You can see the spelling right there. KELOY, KELLAM. If you scroll down this post right here, Crypto October Breakout, hit that reach. Only 8 of you are participating and supporting, just getting the word out there. Come on. Didn't your mother raise you right? Hit that retweet, hit that like button, show some love. Now, I do want to shout out our channel partners, Arculus. You want to make sure, if you're participating in this market, that you protect your crypto and that you protect your future. Head over to getarculus.com. Use code LAB10, LAB10. Getarculus.com, LAB10 for 10% off. The best crypto cold storage solution out there. One tap to swap, trade, store your crypto. It's my favorite and preferred. We will be giving away an Arculus today, $100 value. So make sure you're retweeting that live stream on Twitter. Now let's dive into it, guys. Guys, gals, countrymen, how's everybody doing? I just want to make sure I didn't miss any super chats or membership giveaways. Shout out to Alexander G, gifting 5 memberships. Big love to you. Now, coming over to the liquidations, let's look. Some of you hate this, but why would you hate data that's provides you ideas of areas of interest on price action and the charts? And again, I apologize for my voice and the coughs. I'm still sick from that trip to Singapore. Now look at this, price action pushing up into these hot zones, AKA a lot of liquidity. People are trying to short, and so the market just eats them for lunch. Boom. Now we've cleared that. The question is going to be, what comes next? We have an options expiry today. That is the end of the week, the end of the month, and the end of the quarter. So I do expect a little bit of choppiness in the markets. I think through about, I can't remember when they closed, but through about 3 or 4 p.m. But we have this, look at this massive node that's opened up only in the last day. I mean, look at this. See, I can see the date there. So this morning, people are trying to short this area. Why do I know? Because there's a hot zone of liquidity of where these shorts would get liquidated. And that's right here at 66,950. Boom. Nicole Minestator said, I've shared it twice. Well, big love to you. I appreciate you. Now, we see this hot zone up here, but we also have a little bit of a node here, but quite a bit of liquidity that's down here. It's kind of spread out, though, all the way from 65 to 63, all the way down to about 64, basically about $1,000 range of liquidity below us because there's people starting to layer in and get these longs. Now, why is there not super hot zones yet? Because when we look at the price action, let's come down here, cleaner chart. When we look at the price action, we're still coming into a zone. We actually can do another trend line here. There we go. Because we're still coming into a known zone, a resistance zone, that if we can't, once we start breaking through this territory, basically 66.7 up to about 68,000, this is when we're going to start getting a lot of those longs, which we'll be able to see because we'll start getting a lot of heat below, heat meaning bright colors. Like these colors are bright above. It's not ready to run off yet. We want to pay attention when we start getting these huge pockets of liquidity below, because if the price action does push up into here and we start to break a little bit, we start getting a lot of heat below. Just pay attention that we don't get, if let's say we come down to the hour, just pay attention that we don't, if we do get that huge liquidity below us, God dang it. If we get that liquidity below us, that if this does start to break out, watch for a quick little whipsaw like this to flush that liquidity before it goes to the upside. Because as it stands right now, guys, I'm so damn bullish on what's happening in this market. And I'm okay if this market does have another bit of a test down here to 65, retesting this known level. What level is this? This level that we've been waiting to break out from. So, I mean, this would not be the end of the world. Actually, it would be quite healthy if we got a little bit of a move. If we got a bit of a move on Bitcoin to reject from here, come down, test this, maybe even compress into this for, a few days and then have the breakout, that'd be fine. But everybody wants it to go now, right now. We got to be patient because we're about to ride this sucker to Valhalla, baby. Let me scroll down, make sure I didn't miss any of y'all's incredible. Where was Bitcoin when you started on this channel? All right, let's look. We started this channel. We've had BitLab for a few years, but we started this channel January, February, a year and a half ago. So let's see where we were. This was actually right at the start of the bull run, really. It was right here. It would have been right here. That's crazy. We started this channel right there, and we've had some ups, we've had some downs, we've had some very boring. This is like a relationship. This is like a marriage. We had super exciting times. We got bored with each other, got a little, but then boom, something exciting happened. Same thing over and over. And now we've just been going into this bipolar, bah, 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 bah. But we are setting up, and look at this. We talked about this, the higher low, also followed by the higher high. Now, one of the things you look for after this, one of the things you look for out of this is, look, higher, a high, higher low right here, higher high. At some point, we need to have some pullback, whether we break through first and test, or we have a retrace here and then have that, we want to have another higher low at some point. So let's stay cautious. Let's stay kind, because this market is about to blow your mind. I'm not even trying to rhyme. It just happens all the time. Okay, I'm going to, where's the cliff? I'm going to go jump off it. I'm just joking. Now, coming back over here, Ethereum also starting to look good. I mean, we called this shit perfectly. Look at this. A little bit of stair step down, boom, boom, boom. But now What we're looking for now on Ethereum is to do what we saw on Bitcoin, which is have this break above the 2,700, but more importantly, this $2,800 zone. Why? Because look, we currently have a slightly higher low, but now we have a higher low in the making. But we need this to break above this zone, which is important because this is a rejection. This is a bounce, 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 rejection. So this is an important area. This $2,800 level is very important for Ethereum. What we'd really like to see on the bullish note for this is for this to push up, break through this, find support, and then do its work however it's going to do. If we do get rejected here, we still have a higher low. Sorry, we still have a lower high right here. So we're going to want to watch what happens here if there's going to be a little bit more work. But as it stands right now, we're on the daily. Money flow is still negative. Money flow is still negative. We got the stochastics and RSI relatively high. Let's get down to the 4-hour chart. Okay, starting to, we're getting that money flow flip positive right here. What do I mean by that? What do I mean? Come on. It's when this purple wave, and it turns gray, goes back to purple. It means the money flow gets a bit neutral. But we see this actually flip positive and very blue. You're watering the plants. You want those plants to grow, they need water. This is money coming in. So we saw that flip over. We have positive momentum. We have the stochastics actually came down and now coming back to the upside. It's trying its hardest. I mean, look at this. It's a bit of a bullish pattern trying to push higher. So it's just a name of patience right now. Now I do want to say, remember, I've been sharing a couple of the ones. Let me actually pull this up. There's a couple little gems that I've been sharing with you all from some of the different conferences I've been to, some of the different people within the ecosystem I've been talking to and meeting and learning about. One of those is Aether. I don't think I've charted this in a while. I put this on y'all's radar a little while ago, but look at Aether. This is a newer coin, but it also, I noticed this when I was at Token 2049 in Singapore. There's a huge number of AI projects that were out there. And there's quite a few of them that we're utilizing. In order to do AI, you need graphics processing. You need computational power to do all those LLMs, those language models, and the different computational models that are required for AI. Now, there's Render, of course, and there's got incredible partnerships and integrations with Apple, and there's so much going on with Render. But then also, when you come over here and you look at, let's actually pull it up. So we have Render, R-N-D-R. Let's actually type in Render since it is changing. Okay, this has a $3.4 billion market cap. Well, now let's look at ATH. ATH, which is Aether. Aether, there we go. This has 272 million. Massive difference. And the fact that there's a large number and growing number of different protocols that are out there that are going to be utilizing the decentralized distributed GPU computational power that Aether, it's essentially very similar to Render, but they're attacking things slightly different. But this suggests that we have an opportunity for more growth in this. It's going to be much more risky, but there's an opportunity for more growth. And look at this nice sort of shoulder here, a bit of a cup here. Are we going to get a bit of a shoulder here, or is this ready to break out? All in all, if the market starts ripping, this, I think, is going to start performing quite well. Back here, September, boom, from here to where we're at now, it's up 63%. And we got to look at this. We do have a little bit. Let's actually take this to the 1 hour. We do have a bit of a look. Shoulder, head, shoulder. So this is starting to show signs of life for a larger move to the upside. So definitely do a little bit of diligence on Aether and get in there. Now, another one, what do you say? Mining Aether, luckily, says David Lee Luthon. Well, shout out to you, my brother. Another one, and I am partners with this company, but that has no bearing on my investment in it. I share this because this is another one of those not microcaps, but a much smaller market cap. And I'm aware deeply of what they're doing with their partnerships with the Department of Defense and the U.S. Air Force and the U.S. Space Force and IBM and Panasonic. The fact that they just had their hackathon with over 700 developers building out new use cases and new utility for their metagraphs. And the fact that they're having a conference coming up in San Francisco in, I think, October 24th. But if we just look at the price action, look at this. This is descending wedge. We got the double bottom sort of W formation. And this is looking like it's trying. Look at this right at this trend line that we've had. Once this breaks out from there, that's another 22% from there. And then I think it's going to start to be off to the races because the number of integrations with end-to-end data encryption and the speed in which the metagraphs work and the chart itself looking very, very nice. And I've been, Drew from Blockchain Basement put me onto this about 1.5 years ago, and I was so slow to get involved. Then I did some diligence. Then I started getting involved. Then we had the ability to meet with some of their team, and it's like, we love the project, so we're like, yeah, we'll take a partnership. We'll help spread the word. But none of this is financial advice. This is strategy advice and letting you know what we are doing and how we're, layering into this market. Stacks. Look at this. Starting to look at that. Shoulder, head, shoulder. Starting to break out from this. If this is the case, then this measurement would take stacks up here into this range, this 233 to 251 range. If we're able to completely clear these lows and actually go to the target, that would take us all the way to 272. I do think that some of these coins you guys thought were dead are going to start showing some signs of life. So make sure you pay attention. Even ORDI swap. Let's see, ORDI swap, which has been dormant for a while, starting to show some signs of life as well. Look at this, starting to round out a bit. If we can clear this zone right here, clear this zone right here, then the next level up is going to be in this zone here. I'm looking at the previous range lows, and then the next zone's up going to be up in here. And if we start getting that Bitcoin DeFi narrative pop in any way, these coins, especially ORDI swap, which is quite small in terms of market cap, this is going to be a huge benefactor. Again, these are smaller market cap coins, so you have to make sure you're protecting yourself. You're not just throwing everything into these smaller coins because they have huge gains possible, but you're also taking a lot more risk. So invest accordingly. I want to look at SMT too, Swarm Markets. This is almost irrelevant now because of the way this is all played out. So let's kind of update the chart here. It's kind of more like this. So we have this rejection, bounce, bounce, a little bit of a deviation, bounce, 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 bounce. So this looks a little bit more accurate. So we're going to want to watch Swarm. Swarm is tokenizing real world assets, and it's a lot of financial securities, and they've got licenses and all kind of different things. And this has been bleeding, but it's a smaller market cap coin. So once this is able to push up, look at this. Look what it's going into right now. Previous range, boom, 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 boom. Rejections, bounce, bounce, bounce on the bottom, chop within. If this can push up into here and clear out of the zone, I think this is going to be an explosive coin. One of the coins I layered into yesterday, I got to update you guys in the Discord. I added a bit to my injective position. So we had this, descending channel, and this is coming right into the zone. Nice W formation here. We've broken above this zone as it is right now. If we're able to clear this, I think injective will likely start to see some pretty good gains. And even from this low back here at the beginning of September, look at that. It's already up 60%. So does this mean you get into it now? If it were me, I would potentially wait for any sort of move up, watch for a retrace, and find your entry there. Because as it stands right here, this does have a possibility of coming back in this region as it is as well. So we're on the daily. Let's get down on the 4 hour and see what this looks like. All right, so we got the VWAP came down. It's starting to round out, which means it's trying to, this yellow line right here, trying to potentially play a positive spread. Look, we broke through this trend line, came down, found support, tried to flip, trying to, as it stands, flip this previous resistance to support. If this can break above 23.77 or so, then I think this is going to start making that next leg to the upside. If we do get any sort of rejection here, I'll be watching for an opportunity here at 22.22, or potentially even a much better opportunity down here at 20.75. But we're getting into that part of the market cycle where if you're only waiting for that great buy on a dip, you may not get it. So you got to start taking into account, especially if you're taking a position into next year. You got to start taking into account kind of anywhere we're at right now on a lot of these coins. It's like, it just depends on what your time horizon is, because this market, when it gets going, it is going to leave your lazy ass behind if you have not taken it. Look at it. Come on, baby. Come on, baby. Pump. Aerodrome also. We got to talk about AERO because this thing has just been lighting the charts on fire. Where we at, AERO? Aerodrome. Look at that. Man, boom. Look at that move. 30% overnight and into a bit of a bull flag here. Let's get it on 1 hour time frame. Bit of a bull flag. If this is the case, man, look at this little bull flag, bull flag, bull flag. Are we going to get another one? We could do a little baby measurement here. The length of the flagpole, measure that up. What does that suggest? Up here, back into the $1.44 range. Man, I think Aerodrome is about to leave a lot of people behind. And they just want it to dip so they can get that purchase opportunity. I was telling the TJ about it this morning. Let's not forget, Aerodrome went all the way up here to $2.40. This is still a great opportunity buy, even if it dips from here. If this is not something you've allocated into, start looking for your opportunities, but have a longer position on it. Is AAVE still pumping? I haven't looked at it today. I mean, look at this nice curvature to the upside. Tau, I mean, golly. Remember, I told you all about Tau back. When did I do that? Let's go ahead and look. Again, by the way, if you guys want to get involved in our trading group, it's one of the number one best way that you can participate in the BitLab family. Join our Signals Lab group, which is right here, free traders group. It's directly under the description here. It's also here on the this post right here. If you open that up, you'll see in the comments. This is that link right there. When you click on that link, it will take you to this basically Telegram page right here. This access to Signals Lab. It tells you register with CoinW account. It has to be this link, our CoinW account. Click on that. Once you sign up, you don't need KYC. You don't need VPN. I do always recommend you use VPN. In fact, I have a new VPN partner we're going to be talking about soon because it is important that you protect yourself and your cybersecurity and your identity, and especially when you're trading digital assets. But you can still use all these in the States. It's up, you'll see a warning, but just click confirm. I always sign in always through a VPN. So it's just so my thing is never listed through, so people don't know where my IP is because I want to protect myself on a security basis. But if you sign up here and then after you do, right down here, type in /verify and you use your UID, which this image right here, this image shows you exactly how to find your UID. So /verify space and then put your UID, and that will take you into the Signals Lab right here where there's just been, nonstop calls. I've been taking some of these trades along with these wonderful other traders. We have a $2,000 to $10,000 challenge. We also have this is just nonstop scalp trades. Look at this, 170%, up 72%, 51%, or was that saying 37%? It just goes nonstop. These trading and these calls, and we also have again a huge amount of education that's going to be coming in here into the education area that you get for free just by signing up through CoinW and getting in there with us and trading. Now, I had something else I wanted to share with you. I forget. Oh, Tau. When do we share Tau with you guys? I can tell you right now. Let's come back over here to BitLab Academy. I could tell you right now. There is a video that I did. It's not a live stream. There's a video I did on here. It was about a month and a half ago on Tau. I don't know where it's at. Videos. Here we go. There's a video top right here. So 1 month ago, and within that 1 month ago, this is that video. If you want to learn about Tau, by the way, this is a really great video I did breaking down Tau. Go and watch that. But I did this, what date? July 30th. So 5 days before the market nuked to the downside. What am I talking about? Well, let's look at it. Boom. July 3rd. This is what I'm talking about right here. Boom. This washout here. 60% washout into 100% pump. So I think I bought roughly about right here. You know what happened the next day? Boom. The market washed out from the Japanese yen trade that made all markets crash. Did that bother me? No. I added more in this position down here. And now Tau is one of the largest positions in my portfolio. because of this massive gain that we've seen. We're up 70% on Tau, and I shared this with you all. Avalanche also, we're kind of getting back to parity from when we bought that. But Aerodrome, massive profits. I took 10,000 out of this, rotated it into other assets, reallocated into Aerodrome when it dropped. Ondo, we're up. Near Protocol, we've always been up. Stacks were still down a little bit. Chainlink, we're still down a little bit. I need to add to Chainlink. I added to Injective yesterday. ASI, we're up on. So the point is, we've been sharing these with you guys in BitLab Academy, and the trading. And if those of you that are doing those smaller time frame trades, I'm telling you, get in that the Signals Lab, free trading signals group that is in there. Now, what else we want to look at? XRP, a little bit of a contentious thing. Some of you are long-term. You cannot shake out of XRP. Well, this was last year when we got that first inkling that we might have the case being over. Sold right back down. We've established this massive trend line that goes all the way back here to June 2022. Now we lost this. This was actually the resolution of the case. Boom. We couldn't even get back above this line. And now there's a potential that they may appeal the judge's ruling. If that happens, this will likely have a pretty significant drop. Now, I'm not telling you to buy, sell, trade any of these assets. This is all on your own call based on what your plans are in this market. But I mean, this is looking a little precarious if they do have that thing appealed. Now, if they don't have it appealed, this might stand to kind of get some of that pressure relieved. Maybe we get a pop up into this, but you cannot be ultimately super bullish on XRP until you break above 75 cents. And most importantly, I would say 75 cents here, because this would mean you've broken this descending trend line. You've also broken through this rising resistance line, and then also this horizontal. All this zone right here is going to be a little bit of a no man's land zone in the market. Now, I'm feeling good, everybody. You guys have all been amazing. I think it's time to do a giveaway. Well, we got 416 people in the room. Everybody hit that like button. Let's see if we can get 30 more likes while we're doing the first giveaway. We will do a second giveaway. So I asked, and they can verify, Alexandra G, and I think it was Tater and Gabby. I asked at the pre-stream, I said, give me a number 1 to 5. And they said 2 and 4. And I've written this down. It's written on here. So I don't know if you can see it. Yeah, 2 and 4. And then before that, I had just written the number 33. So we're going to pick the 2, which is Tuesday, Monday, Tuesday. And the 4 is essentially, I'm going to divide 33 by 4, and we're going to round up. We're going to round to the closest number. Whatever that is, that's the number down. Like, we're going to count those many, that number down to pick the winner. So 33, what is 33 divided by 4? Let's see. That should be easy math, but I just want to 30 divided by 4. Okay, 8.25. So the closest is 8. So Tuesday and 8. So let's go ahead and pick a giveaway. $100 Arculus wallet x.com. Let's come over here. And what was the date on Tuesday? Do you guys know? What was the date? Let's see. Tuesday was the 24th. So let's go to the 24th. Here we go. Yeah, shout out to Jenna X fighting at the influencer fight night in Singapore. She absolutely crushed it. 24th, here we go. Here we go. Okay, so now we had 9, so that's perfect. No, it's not what I want to see. Repost. Here we go. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Let's see. 7, 8. Nope. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. That's how we got to do it. Yo soy, Brown Hammer. You are the Brown Hammer. I just followed you. Send me a message on Twitter, and I'll also send you a message on Twitter, and I'll get your address. We'll get you taken care of. Did we get 30? We only got 11 more likes. Well, then that's all we got today, everybody. I love you. We're going to be heading over to Blockchain Basement. Let's do something fun. Everybody roll into Blockchain Basement now. If you're here on YouTube, if you're not, if you're on Twitter, head over to Blockchain Basement, be at BChain Basement on Twitter. And let's drop 3 lab coats and say, what should we say? I don't know, let's say BitLab Unite or something like that. So we'll all say the same thing. We'll all go in there coordinated. But that's all I got, everybody. I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. I hope you all stay, stay positive through this weekend. We're likely to have some chop to shake out that last bit of weak hands. We are about to send this market on fire. For those that are stacked in, I love you guys. I appreciate you guys. And let's go ahead and get it. Adios, muchachos. Adios, muchachos. Thank you for coming. Thank you for always tuning in. I love you guys, man.